It would help if I would add us to the stream. All right. I was like, what's wrong? But anyway, hello, everybody. Welcome to another episode of the Lit Podcast, Tuesday Night Tea. As you can see, I'm on the couch. I got somebody special with me. It's my mama.
Hello.
Yes, my mama. And we are twinning. She got me this shirt. Um, she got me and Maya, my daughter, one of the shirts. So let me see what we got going on. Oh, there we go. All right. So anyway, I was trying to see if anybody's gonna come on and join us, but we can start. Well, let me share it to my other page real quick, Mama.
Okay.
And I just want to thank you all if you're coming on, watching the replay, however you're coming. And I just want to thank you all. There it goes. It's loud. But I want to thank you for joining us, watching the replay. Wherever you are, whenever you watch this, I hope you can get something from tonight because my mom always says stuff and she don't even know she be saying it, y'all. But anyway, I don't even know how to there it goes. Share. We live. Okay, here we go. Oh, it's Ryan. Hey, Ryan. And also, what I need to say is if you are watching and you would like for us to see your comments, please, you have to accept StreamYard or give StreamYard permission to show your comments. Okay? So, anyway. Uh-oh. All right. So, mommy, we can't see y'all for some reason, so I don't know what's going on, but I can see you from my phone. So, oh, Damon's on too. So, hey, babe. All right. So, mama.
Yes.
Y'all forgive her. She a little nervous, but it's okay. This is her first time ever being on live. She don't even have Facebook. You know, that's how she's not a part of this whole internet. She was like, what you call it, the sci-fi? So she is not with this stuff. But anyway, so mama, because I am a mental health clinician, and this is not always about mental health, but it's about mind, body, and spirit. I want to start out with first, how long you know me?
Your entire life from the day you was born.
Tell the truth. You ain't want it. You ain't even know me because you didn't see me for a couple days, did you?
No, I seen you the first day you were born.
Y'all, my mama always tell me a story about how she really wanted a boy, so she didn't want to name me, all this kind of stuff. So I started having maybe some
issues.
Yeah, some issues. Like she just went issues. But anyway, so because I am mental health and everything that I do surrounds like mind, body, and spirit. Can you tell us why you think mental health is important? Because it is Mental Health Awareness Month.
Mental health is important because you have, first of all, you got to have God in your life to be able to understand what's going on in this world and stuff. And long as you got him, he can get you through anything. I know for a fact because he have brought me and my family through a lot. And mental health itself, we don't know who it hit or where it's hit, why it hit, but I'm glad there's people out there that can help people that need mental health because some of the clients I deal with, I know they need mental health for people in their life.
So well, tell me a little bit about, can you talk about where you work at? Can you say it? Okay.
Yeah.
So tell us where you work at.
Okay. I work with Meals on Wheels in Waco, Texas. Hello,
Waco.
But yes, and we deal with a lot of seniors, some military, depending on the special needs they need, but it's mainly seniors from 60 and older. We take them lunch every day and stuff.
Okay.
And it's a blessing to do that because a lot of them don't get to see people at all, especially with this pandemic now. And it's a joy when they see someone bringing them some, and they are very grateful to have it. And I'm happy I can be one of those people to put a smile on their face.
Yeah, that is so like people. I mean, since we, the shirt, it actually has a mask on there. If you can't see it, it's like for, COVID. But when you really think about that, this pandemic is still going on. People are still getting sick. Um, but some people, especially elderly people, like
Yeah.
you're saying, they have not been anywhere if they don't have like the transportation. Because some of y'all do transportation
Yes,
stuff too, right?
we do transportation. We take them to their doctor's appointments, to the grocery store, to the laundromat. We take them basically wherever they need to go.
Wow.
Yes, and I'm proud that we can give that service to them. And hey, all you Meals on Wheels people out there, hey, send in donations. We need them to keep our elderly fed.
But that's so y'all take monetary donations
Yes.
and like can they people drop off food items
Well,
or
no, we can't take food because of the virus. Well, even before the virus, we weren't allowed to take food and stuff. But if we do get food, we give it to a food pantry.
oh
You
okay.
know, yeah,
Okay, so y'all mainly just because y'all had to buy your own groceries. And
yes,
okay, well that makes sense. That is really such a great thing to be able to have in a community, um, and just to be able to help people like that because, and which leads me into the next thing about just having a servant's heart because as like my mom, she obviously, I mean, I don't know, do you have to work?
no, I
I didn't think.
choose.
Yeah, I was thinking. I'm like, I don't think she have to work, but she continues to work, and when I say she doesn't have to work, I don't mean it like I mean it's some people work, like she can retire. She's worked her whole life, obviously. And plus my dad was in the military and he passed away, so she gets benefits from that as well. Um, so anyway, enough about that. But just to be able to do that and want to do it, so having a servant's heart goes deep in our family, huh?
Yeah,
Where did you learn to actually have a servant's heart?
my mom. My mom never turned anybody away from her door. If you was hungry, believe me, she fed you. So I have to say it came from my mom, her spirit and stuff. And my mom had 10 children, and I think a piece of hers in each one of us.
A different piece, I
Yeah.
might add.
Yes. You know, we got some that love to cook, some that love to fish, and I'm one of the ones that love to fish like she did. And I have sisters that love to cook. So, hey, you know, and pray because my mama was a praying woman. And she got that from her father, which was a praying man. Believe me, that man could pray.
Yeah. So when when I think about we call my grandmother Big Mama. So when I think back about Big Mama, what you just said was so true. Like I know that we was poor. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
I know we was poor. And for any of my cousins, if y'all are listening or catch this on the replay, y'all know how we used to pile up on the floor and every summer, but it was like the place to go. And I remember I'm thinking like she's a single well she was widowed and then widowed twice?
Yeah.
Widowed twice and then just single with 10 children. But every Sunday, everybody want to come to her house to eat. And I'm like, where she get food from? Where she get but she never turned down anybody a plate of food. And there I remember this gentleman I just recently, not but too many like a couple years ago, found out that he was actually our cousin. But I remember this one man, I didn't want to say his name, but we just thought he was an old wino. And so some of my cousins will know who I'm talking about. But We just thought he was an old wino, but she would always say, "Make sure y'all take him a plate." And we're like, "Why is she always trying to go feed these winos?" But but that's just who she was. Whatever she had, I mean, it could be a biscuit. You was gonna get a biscuit. If that's all she had, she would give it to you. So, that goes so deep for our family.
Yeah.
So I'm grateful to come from a strong line of women, I must say.
Yeah.
So when you think about because I talk about my mom all the time, y'all. So when you think about like raising us, like me and my brother, when you think about us growing up and compared to how you grew up, what everybody takes something away from their parents.
Yeah.
So what kind of things did you want to do differently for parenting?
One thing I want to make sure that y'all had God in y'all life, because that was some very major in our family, to believe and trust in Him,
Mhm.
which y'all do.
For
And I'm
real.
so grateful for that y'all are able to do that. And like I say, some of the discipline things, yeah, y'all got y'all butt whooped. Hey, I'm not gonna lie, I beat them.
Not me. I didn't. Not me.
No, she didn't get many whoopings, but her brother is a different story.
And he's watching, by
Yeah.
the way.
Hello,
I don't know.
Trini. I love you.
We can't see
Yeah.
all the comments on the computer, but I'm seeing them on my phone.
Yeah, mommy love you too. But he was, like I tell her, I have two favorite children. I have a favorite daughter and I have a favorite son, and I love them equally. But like I was saying, growing up with these two, they have been a blessing for me, because with them, they taught me what it is to love unconditionally.
Mm.
And I mean, without them, I probably wouldn't be the woman I am today, because they have taught me things. And I'm gonna say to all mothers out there, listen to your children, because sometimes they can say something that will help you in life. You never know. Just listen to them. It's not always listen to me and do as I say, but listen to what they are saying too, because that was something I learned. We were when I was growing up, we were not allowed to say anything bad. Whatever was said, that was it. But to me, I wasn't gonna raise my children like that, because I know how I felt. So yes, my children had a voice in my house. They did get to say what was on their mind and stuff. And some of the stuff they said, we learned from it. Yeah, they knew the main decision was going to be mine and their daddy's, but we gave them that opportunity to speak. And it never hurt to let your child speak. And to me, most people try to be their children's friends. I always tell them, I'm your mom first. I'm going to always be your mother. And I'm glad I raised them the way I did. And another thing, don't lie to your children. Be open and honest with them. Believe me, they will be open and honest with you. You know.
I guess I should tell her about that one time. I'm just playing. No, but
You did try to lie one time.
I know I tried to lie a couple times. but but you're so right. Like that's one of the things that I really appreciate and loved, because the other day I did do a leadership panel, and I was talking about how my parents influenced my leadership. Like from the very beginning, my dad was always like, "You're a Watford, you better go forth and be excellent in all you do and all that." And I remember not too long ago, I always talk about my dad because I was like a daddy's girl, daddy, like till
Yeah.
It was pitiful. But Damon asked me, he said, why don't you ever talk about your mom? And I just broke down crying, y'all. Like I literally broke down crying because it caught me off guard, first of all. But then I just started crying because I was like, there's so much that she does. I'm getting emotional now just thinking about it. Throughout my life that she's always done, she's always been there and just been so supportive. And it's like you can't even put it in words, you know. And so that's why I named this Mommy Magic. And going back to you what you were talking about, Mom, like when, you know, I know there's some people that aren't mothers, but you had a mother, you know, everybody got a mama,
Yeah.
right? So sometimes if when you think about this, it's like moms just make stuff happen, right? It's just like, I don't know how we gonna do it. But like I was talking about my grandmother, but there's biscuits for everybody,
By
you know.
His grace.
So that's what I just thought about for my mom. It's just like magic because I know that there was a time when you had to work at night,
Yeah.
but I never missed a meal. Dinner was on the stove, y'all. When I came home from school, dinner was there, ready. And all we had to do was like heat it up when it was time to go. And I don't even know what time she got off of work, but I know she was there in the morning for me to leave and there was breakfast. You know, so it's just like how and then there was times where I would fall asleep doing my homework and I would wake up and my homework would be done. I ain't even lying. But I done graduated now, so y'all can know that. But but it's just like mommy magic to me. It's like that's some of the stuff that I'm talking about. Like you just appear, you just show up and we don't know how it gets done, but it's like mama did it, mama took care of it. And you know, I'm just so grateful to you for that.
I don't know if you remember this here. It happened over in Germany. I think you was in the third grade, third or fourth grade, and all your so-called little friends were playing. This new girl that came to school, and she's like she took all of your little friends, and they was having a good time. And you was sitting over there looking. I just happened to come by the school that day, and you was sitting over there looking pitiful. And I called you because your teacher knew who I was. I said, if you don't, I'm not gonna say what I actually said, but I told her, you don't follow nobody. You are a leader. You are Edna Tucker's granddaughter. I said, you get out there on that playground and you have the best time of your life. You laugh, you do whatever you got to do. And those little girls don't wonder what's going on with you. I don't know if you
I
remember.
do. I do remember that. And so you see what I'm saying though? Like I got a dad saying, go over there, do this, hold your head up all the time, and then same thing, you know. So it's coming from both parts, but he's telling me I'm a whopper and she's telling me I'm a tucker. You know what I'm saying? And then what did Trini say? And that was the birth of her split personality. Okay, that's a whole nother thing, a whole nother conversation. Because I am a Gemini, yes, and my brother swears that I have a
Twin.
multiple person. He says multiple personalities. Mama, you call them twins.
Juana and Janae.
Well, that's my whole name.
I know.
But anyway, we ain't gonna talk about that. That'd be a whole nother show. But you know, I just love that you can just come on and you just say, you know, I'm just talking to you on the phone sometimes and you just drop this knowledge and I'm like, dang, mom, like there was a whole conversation, you know, and there's so much truth to it, you know, and I know like when you grew up, things were way different from when
Oh
I grew
yeah.
up, you know, so allowing me to have a voice
Mhm.
has taught me so much and allowed me to be who I am because you know as she was saying when your kids you know you can hear and learn from your children, right? You may not agree with them and it may not be the final word that you take, right? Because like she said, her and my dad had the final say, which we know was really her final say, but he was the head of the household, so she just let him
Supposed to be.
she just let him say what he had to say. But you know, it's just you can learn so much from your children. So just listen to them. If there's a child in your life, listen to them, even if
Yes.
you're not their parent. Because sometimes a child may come to you as a trusted adult, so that's something, that's important as well, that they have a trusted adult in their family. And so I want to, which kind of moves on to another topic with a village, right?
Yes, it takes a
Um,
village.
so is there, like, tell me about your village, like how because we were talking
Okay.
about this earlier, and then I was like, oh, that's something good to talk about.
Okay. When I had you, I was a teenage mom. I was living at home with my mother. Everybody thought I was going to drop out of school, which I didn't. I walked, well, to be honest, she walked across the stage with me to
Hey,
get my diploma. So I always tell her she graduated twice.
I was in her belly, by the way.
Yeah. But if it hadn't been for my mom and my sisters, because they gave me the support I need. And if you have a family that give you support, take that support because it's very important. I didn't have to worry about my child being abused somewhere because I knew my mom was going to take care of her. My sisters, I had to go to work, yes, but I knew she was home safe. And if you have that in your life, don't take it for granted. Let your family know you appreciate that. Because, like I say, if it hadn't been for my mom and my sisters, I don't know what would probably happen with me and her. Well, yes, I do, because my mom wasn't going to let me take her. She had told me that, so.
What you mean?
Oh, I wanted to move out, but mama said you can move, but she ain't going nowhere.
Okay. And I get that, because
Yes.
now as a grandmother,
Mm-hmm.
I totally understand. Because my daughter says, her and her husband, they talk about moving, and I'm like, no, 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 you need to stay close. So I totally get that.
Yeah.
um but just having a village is so
So
important.
important.
Even, my family, my not my mom, but Damon, Anthony, and Maya and I, we were dual military, so we had to travel around. So we didn't always have our
Family.
blood family around, right?
We know.
So, and I grew up in Germany, so we did, after we moved from Fort Hood, it was the same thing. We grew up in Germany. So from a military perspective, we had to learn to make family
Yeah.
and make a village. So sometimes if you don't have your
Immediate.
your immediate family like you did,
Yeah.
if you don't have that convenience, or make a family,
Yeah.
because sometimes your family is who you make is your family, because sometimes your blood family ain't the best family. They just by default your family, right? But I was noticing too, I don't know if she's still on, but I'm looking at a couple people that are watching, and I want to shout y'all out because y'all were our family. So Kristen Jordan, hey
Hey.
girl. I don't know if you ever got to meet my mama,
I.
but Kristen and her sister, my God, all I can say is Maryland all day. I don't know how many times we were there late trying to pick up kids, but they were there. They were our village,
Yeah.
at the daycare. And Miss Sabrina, she's not on here, but I'm friends with her on here. And then Gleason Murphy. Hey, Captain Murphy. I know you're not a captain no more, but anyway, um, you know, uh, he was my supervisor and friend in the military. But these are people like way back in the day that
Yeah.
we had as a village, that helped us to raise our children, to be there with our children, pick our children up when we couldn't pick our children
Yeah.
up. And luckily for you, we had, like, we had our aunts, to do that for
Yeah.
us, and sometimes our uncles. Um, but that kind of stuff is so very important,
It is.
And oh, go ahead.
And like she was saying, with the military, you do have to make a family because with the banks, oh my, they was there for us. and we were there for them. And then Mika, Harrison L, it's
Yeah.
so many, Crystal, I could just name so many people that came to our house and we all became one happy family. And then to be over there and have family over there, my cousin Fred Lee, his wife Shawana, you know, holidays, those were the worst ones when you weren't around family.
Yeah.
So we made our family so we could make it through that because we lived in Germany for 9 years straight.
9 long years.
Yes.
Actually, they stayed longer than me because I left them because I joined the military. But what I know earlier we were talking about that too, about when the mental health aspect, you were
Yeah.
talking about you went through a depression.
Yeah.
Did you even know that's what it was?
No, I really did. All I know, too bad kids was getting on my everlasting nerve. So I called my mom crying and she said, baby, the thing is, you didn't get rid of the children. Because every summer my kids would go to Waco. And for that year, they didn't make it to Waco and they was getting on my nerves and I didn't get that break from them. That's why when my kids say, Mama, can you keep the kids? Yes, bring them. Because I know they need that break from them. And that's with, life. Because I mean, every some even on weekends, if I didn't bring the children, my mama would send somebody to get the kids because she loved her grandkids. And with me, I have been blessed because my mom and her sisters and them didn't get to live to see great grandchildren. And I have been blessed to see my great grandchildren. And it's just a joy, not only to have grandchildren, but great grandchildren. Oh man, I wouldn't trade that for nothing in this world.
Aw.
And
And speaking,
thank you, Maya.
excuse me. And speaking of, um, our grandchildren are very much like how my husband, it when he was growing up, he had great grandparents alive as well. I think he had like 3 or 4 sets of great grandparents. And so for my grandchildren, they have great grandmothers and a great grandfather.
Hmm.
So there's like just so, it's like generations,
Yeah.
so it is so wonderful to see things like that.
Yes.
Um but let's talk about this depression though.
Oh, the depression was like I was saying, every summer or weekend my children was gone. And so they gave me a break from them. And like I said, I called my mama crying and she knew exactly what was wrong. She said, Diane, you just need to get away from everybody. So one weekend I went to Harlem and stuff. I would just after that I would just start taking trips for me to get away so I can keep my peace of mind. Because if not, I probably would have hurted one of them, not even realizing what was going on with me. And I thank God for my mom. She knew what was going on. I didn't get that break from them.
But that's very, I'm glad you said that because that takes me to self-care, of how not just if you're a mom, but just anybody,
Yeah, any parent,
anybody,
any
any
parent.
person.
Yeah.
It's so important that you have self-care because, you know, like in your situation, you were used to doing things a certain kind of way, but then, and you got breaks,
Mm-hmm.
but then you were thrust into a whole nother country that you didn't know the language. You didn't, food was different, driving was different, everything was totally different. And you had been to other states,
Yeah.
but not
Uh,
outside of the United States. So then, just going straight over to Germany like that. So all of that kind of is anxiety, depression, and in our community, we don't, you know, and way back then, we really wasn't talking about
mental.
mental health anyway, because
No.
if you talked about mental health, you was crazy,
Yeah.
right?
Something
It
was
was
wrong with you.
something was really wrong with you. um so but the self-care part, I like that you recognize that you need to start doing things for yourself.
Yeah.
um and I think that is so important to get across too, about doing things for yourself, because you get so caught up, especially as a mom. We can put everybody comes before us,
Yes.
and it used to just be you, and then slowly you get knocked on down. I mean,
Yeah.
to for me now, I know even the dogs get a little bit more attention, because they come before me too. It's
Yeah.
time to feed the dog, you know. So it's just so important to get self-care and take self-care.
Yeah.
So you may not be able to afford to go to Holland, but what are some other things you do for self-care? Like even now, like what are some things you do for self-care?
Well, one of the main things I love doing is fish and just being out on the water. Whether I catch a fish or not, it gives me the peace I need to reflect on things, to help me make sure I can handle whatever comes before me. And that is with the grace of God. That's how I keep myself focused.
Mm-hmm. So you like to do fishing?
Yeah.
Anything else you like
I
to do?
love to walk.
So you do so exercising and stuff
Yeah.
you do. What else? Anything? You like stop asking me all these questions. What else you like to do?
No, really. And then just being around my sisters, them, whether I play cards or dominoes with them or not, it's just looking at them enjoying themselves.
Yeah.
And that give me joy to see joy on their face. Yeah, they are fuss and cuss at one another, but they be having a good time.
Mm-hmm.
And so
Just
just being around family, you
yeah.
know. That's why I can't wait for the family reunion.
Yeah, the
It's,
family reunion. Every year we have a family reunion. It's like the biggest thing in Waco. Even if you're not a family member, I think you can still come and we won't know the difference. But yeah, that's such a big event for us. And I see Marquita. Hey Marquita, she was saying that you were just talking about self-care earlier. Yeah, and it's just so important to take a break and focus on you
yeah,
for some
yeah.
time. And I just want to get that across. And somebody keeps walking around. So I think as people get older too, because mama, I be forgetting how old you are, girl. But when I think about my age, I think about, oh yeah, my mama gotta be this age. But this is Lola. No, no. So Lola is
Mama, tribe, and companion.
I I it's her undocumented emotional support animal. But Lola is one of our 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 dog's babies. And so Lola, I'm just so thankful for Lola too. And so something like having a pet gives you something as an elderly person. I'm not saying mama elderly, but
Yeah.
but especially when you
I'm
live by
grateful.
oh,
I'm grateful to be elderly.
that's right, be elderly girl. That's why I hope I get I'm gonna talk about that. But just having a pet, a pet, something else to take care of too. I know it can be overwhelming. Sometimes it can be stressful, but especially if you live alone, even if it's a plant, just
Yeah.
having something else to care for gives you a sense of purpose if you
Yeah.
start to lose like having a sense of purpose on things. But it gives you something to look forward to because you got to feed the plant, you got to water the
Water.
plant or whatever you do with plants. I only got
Yeah.
2 live plants. I don't have, my thumbs are brown. They
Yeah.
ain't green. And the plants that's in here is fake. So
But
Lola, Miss Charlotte said hi. But
especially during a pandemic, you need something when people couldn't go nowhere. I was blessed that I was still able to go to work and stuff.
yeah.
My job was like a mandatory job because we still had to feed our seniors and stuff. So
Yeah.
I'm grateful that I had that job where a lot of people didn't go to work and stuff. You know.
But I know I'm just like cutting over because I'll forget y'all because I be forgetting stuff. But um, when you said that you were happy to be a senior,
Yes,
I want to address that because and look for yourself, look in your own family, because what I'm about to tell you, what she's about to share, it's deep. So, because I was thinking about this the other day. So, most women in our family do not live to be over 60 years old.
true. My Out of my mom and her two sisters, she was the only one lived to see 60. And we done had my baby sister, she died in her 20s. I had another sister that died in her 40s. Our oldest cousin died in her 40s. My mom baby sister died in her 50s. Her oldest sister died in her 50s. So in my family, when a woman makes 60 plus, we celebrate. That's a celebration for us,
Yeah.
because that is something we all look forward to, getting that age. Are we gonna be the one, are we gonna make it? And I thank God this September I would be 65, and I praise him for that, because like I say, my mom and her sisters didn't get to see that. I had two sisters didn't get to see it. And I'm just grateful he have given me this time. And I don't know how much more time I'm gonna have, but whatever time I do have, I'm living it, because that's what he want me to do, is live. And by living, I'm not the type to sit around the house. That's never been me. I've been working ever since I was 16 years old. I don't know what it is not to work.
Mm-hmm.
And so, I just have to work. That give me peace of mind being out. Every job I done had, I served people. Every job, it had to do with people. So I say I'm a people's person.
Yeah. And just to make a point of this lady drove all the way from Waco, Texas, all the way to Phoenix City, Alabama. That's a good smooth 12 and a half hours. Just her and Lola. And
Not the
I
first
can
time.
barely drive across the bridge to Columbus, which is 5 minutes, y'all, without getting tired. So, um, I just and when I say look back into your own family, because there's stuff that we don't know, because that interests me, and I want to actually do some research about that, because I wonder in counseling and psychology, there's something that's called a genogram. And so what you do is basically it's like a family tree, and then you can find different traits and things. Like if there was an alcoholic in your family, right? Then you could kind of trace it back, like, okay, my dad, my grandfather, and you can see all paternal men or something like that in your family tree is that way. So in this situation, I want to look and see how many of how this women thing worked, because I'm gonna be 46 at the end of the week on Friday. Y'all can cash at me, one allows. I'm just joking.
No,
But
she not.
but but seriously, if there's something like cancer or
Yes.
diabetes, heart problems, anything like that, you can kind of trace it for yourself. You don't need to make a full on genogram, but look in your bloodline and see what that is. Because during we had a transforming minds seminar at church. Was it last week?
Yeah.
Last week.
Yeah.
And anyway, at the conference, one of the things that Dr. Noel had spoke about was just generational traumas, right?
Yeah.
But when you think about how you can break that, because it does go like 3 generations
Mm-hmm.
before it stops. So think about that. Like if I have, okay, let's say my grandmother had diabetes, right?
Mm-hmm.
So then my mom might get diabetes. And so for me to stop it, I need to think about what's the things that why they got diabetes. So if it's just, I know this ain't real because I'm not a doctor, but like if it was just because you was eating cakes, then I'm gonna stop eating cakes. I'm going to do the necessary things to help me to stop that trait so that we can break that cycle, whether it's something in mental health, substance abuse, or just a physical health condition. I'm going to research about it. And so I can see, because I do know that like breast cancer runs in my family.
Yes.
I know that sometimes you can't get away from some of these things, but there are some things that you can do, like
Now we
like
got
what you're
colon cancer.
colon cancer. Yeah, we have colon cancer and prostate cancer. I mean, I can't get prostate cancer, but to know that I should be able to tell my son
Yeah.
that he could possibly get prostate cancer, right? Like, so to be aware of these things, to check these things out, whatever physical kind of conditions that run in your family, look and see what, research it for yourself to see what kind of things that you can do to kind of make yourself healthy so that you don't get those types of things. Because if it's something as simple as stop eating cake and drink more water, then stop eating cake and drink more water. I know it's not as simple as that, and there's much more to it than that. But just in truth, look into your family history. See what types of things are going on in your family history so that you can break those cycles and maybe help your family along the way. Because the more we know, the better we are. And so the more educated we are, then we can share with other people so then they're also educated. But anyway, I want to ask before we go, Mama, what is something that you are intentional about every day? Because this is the Lit podcast, and we want people to stay lit and live intentionally today. So, what's something that you do each day?
Each day when I wake up, I thank God for giving me life. But just to be a blessing to somebody, to give somebody a word, a smile on their face, that makes me feel good, and it makes them feel good. Because, like I say, I deal with senior people, and for them to say thank you, that's a lot. And like I tell them, I say, if it wasn't for you all, I wouldn't have a job. So I'm grateful for you just like you grateful for me. And just being there for somebody. Because sometimes a volunteer is the only person that person will get to see. And just to put a smile on their face, that means more than anything. And I thank God, you know, I'm able to do that.
So, you just ask every day to be a
A
blessing
blessing to
to somebody.
somebody. Mm-hmm.
That's awesome. I love that. Just be blessed to be a blessing. Mm.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, I'm gonna get y'all off because I know I'll be keeping y'all on here for forever, and I got to get better with my boundaries with the time, y'all. But sometimes these conversations be so good. And anyway, I want to shout out to Michelle because she did guess who the person was gonna be, which was my mommy. So Michelle, you have a gift card coming to you from Macy's, okay? Because I know you like to shop there. So I'm gonna send you I think it's Macy's you like, but anyway, I'm gonna send you a gift card to there. What? Go ahead.
I just want to clear up something my daughter had said. I think maybe about 2 weeks ago,
Lord.
maybe 3.
Uh-oh.
But yes, when it had to do with smoking, when she thought my husband started me smoking, but no, he didn't. I was smoking before I knew my husband. What it is, she just never really seen me smoke because I didn't smoke around my mom. I would smoke away from home. But and once I moved out my mom's house, yes, she would see me smoking then. But for me to quit, and this is for Ryan. Ryan, if you really want to quit smoking, this is what I did. I asked God to help me stop smoking for 3 days because they say that's what it takes. And I said to him, God, if you help me stop smoking for 3 days, I can do the rest. And from 2009, April the 20th, on 2 of my niece's birthdays, I have not smoked a cigarette. And I thank God for that.
Well, thanks for clearing that up. But yeah, so I remember that episode because I did say that
Your
that you had
dad. Yeah.
that I think you just stopped, you were
Mm-hmm.
smoking because he had smoked, and then
Mm-hmm.
you just stopped because you didn't really want to smoke or something. So see, I got my facts wrong. Correct me, girl. Get them facts right. But that may help somebody. So
Yeah.
I do appreciate that. Your beliefs in God are just so strong, and I know that you got it from Edna Tucker,
Yeah. And
and
Donisha.
yes, Donisha Tucker, and I'm just so thankful and blessed to have had you live and in person with me, first person on the. It's not really a couch; it's a futon. But yeah. So
Yeah.
thank you.
And my granddaughter was supposed to be in here. Well, my granddaughter.
Yeah, we would have had three generations, but
Yeah.
it's okay.
Yeah.
Um, but I want to thank you, Mama, for coming and sharing, spilling your tea, being transparent, because we got a twist in, because we're gonna take these out, and then our hair is gonna be all cute. Because when my birthday comes, we is gonna turn all the way up. So, anyway, so thank you, Mama, for coming on live, her first live, y'all, and thank you all for being a part of the Live Intentionally Today family, just being part of this lit tribe. I appreciate you all for coming on every Tuesday, joining us. I want to say a couple last things. June will be, I know we still got one more week in May, and then June will be all men. It's men month. So I got a special lineup for y'all. I'm so excited about June. It's going to be some powerhouses coming through. And hey, Amy, we love you too. And but also I'm gonna put some information out, because if you do want to be a part of the podcast day, be a guest on the show, if you got something to talk about, you got a business, you got something to share, anything, mind, body, and spirit. I want to be a platform to help you to share it. And so I'll be putting that out, how you can get in contact with me. So you don't have to be sliding in the DMs, but so it could be a little more professional. But all right, I want you all to have a great night. Love, peace, and hair grease to everybody. Thank you again. And as I always say, I be getting this from Coach, because Coach Brian, he be like, you can't get strong unless you lift heavy stuff. That's what he says on his Tuesday morning. So every Tuesday night, I say that I'm here, it's now, and I'm alive. So y'all be good.
Bye. We through, Lola.